Thanks for
Well,
having me.
yes. I'm excited for our follow-up conversation today. And for those tuning in, welcome to our Business Launch for Coaches discussion today. We're here to help coaches lead a lucrative and fulfilling life while making a radically positive impact in the world. Your
Yes.
hosts today are myself, Laurel Elders, and Tabitha Danloe of the Institute for Integrative Intelligence, where it's our mission to elevate human potential through the art and the science of masterful coaching. And Tabitha, I'm so thrilled to have this follow up chat with you because we both share a passion for helping coaches cultivate their own authentic, unique marketing plan and
Yes.
experience business success.
Yes.
So
So
before
true.
we, yeah, so before we dive in, can you share a little bit more about your background with sales and marketing, but also how you leveraged your success as a six-figure coach?
Yeah, I'd love to. So, funnily enough, I feel like where I started with my sales and marketing knowledge and success was my part-time college job when I was 20 in Mary Kay Cosmetics. So I needed some extra cash. And so I started, selling Mary Kay. And within a year, I became a sales director and I earned a free Mary Kay car. And I just loved that business. I understood it. I loved working with people, and I loved, and I'm very grateful that I had some really good mentors at the time that didn't just teach me how to sell, like didn't the creepy sales. Like it was like, hey, we're here to educate, we're here to help, we're here to inform, and then let people make their own decisions. And so I feel really blessed that early on I got such an early I got such a clean view of sales, I guess. I got such a different perspective of sales. And I think it's interesting, like if we look at what it is in actually being a coach and our coaching presence and our coaching skills that we learn, it's kind of the same thing you can leverage to be really good at sales and marketing. It's asking open-ended questions. It's literally trying to connect with the person and not try to tell them what to do, right? We're trusting our clients to guide themselves. And so I feel like a lot of what I learned, I could apply directly to my coaching experience to then create my coaching practice and become profitable in about 9 months and then quickly move into six figures. So that was a big part of it. And I'm really grateful. I feel lucky that I found all that at 20 and kind of the journey that it took me on. And there's a lot of other things in there. There was some time in corporate America. There was some time in Africa. Long story, but we'll keep people interested in the bigger story someday. So
Yes, I love that. I know your story. It's very, very inspiring.
thanks.
And yeah, so today we decided to hop on live because we're so excited. We are offering a new program that we have never offered before. And this is actually something you can blame me for because Tabitha was tapping me on the shoulder, like, we need to offer group. We need to offer a group. We need to offer a mastermind. I'm like, okay, we'll get there. We'll get there. Well, the time has come. So we are actually launching this
Mhm,
year. And it's exciting because group work can be so powerful. You can
mhm,
gain networking support for a lifetime, really. I mean, you can
mhm.
make those connections and build that support. And it all starts with a business mastermind that we're offering. It's going to be 6 months. And just a little teaser, right now we're offering an early adopters rate. So for the next 6 days, if you do register as an early adopter, it closes April 30th, you will secure your spot but also save $359, which is
Nice.
you know, a great benefit to signing up early.
Absolutely. Girl math, go buy yourself something nice, like
So more details to come at the end, but we do always like to offer early adopter rates because it allows us to prepare really well in
True.
advance, which saves us lots of time and effort on our end. And we thank you. Want to extend that to our participants. So let's get to the fun stuff. Let's dive in. Today, we're going to be discussing who this mastermind is really designed for. And this is so important because this mastermind group is not for everyone. So we want to
Mm-mm.
be really clear about who it is for. We want to make sure that if you do want to join us, that it's a really good fit for you. That's really important. It's not just important to us, but it's important to your own success. And so I
Right.
really hope by the end of this discussion that you'll gain enough clarity around whether this program was perfectly designed just for you.
Yay.
Yeah. All right. So, who this is for, I was giving this more thought in preparation for our conversation today. And the first thing that came to mind is coaches who need accountability to get on the other side of business stagnation.
Yep. So true. Yes, I think that we all have moments where we need some gentle accountability. But if you're someone that has a vision, you feel your soul's purpose calling you into this coaching world, and you know you're not really getting out there, that's not serving you or the world. The world really needs a lot of coaches right now, I think. And so, yeah, this is going to be really helpful to have some steady accountability for 6 months straight with peers that are struggling in the same way that you are. And I think there's a lot of power in that type of accountability as well, that you're not feeling singled out and you're not feeling like, oh, it's just me. No, many of us procrastinate. Many of us get overwhelmed or really paralyzed in trying to build a business. And so I think there's some really powerful accountability in being with peers that are facing what you're facing.
That's a really good point. And on the flip side of that, it's not just accountability. There might be some coaches that are seeking just that forward momentum. Like they're
Yeah.
good with the accountability part, but they want forward momentum and they want to be taking steps in really meaningful, well designed, ways.
Hmm. Absolutely.
So the other quality that came to mind is, or situation is, really looking at coaches who are ready to launch but they want that fellowship with others. They want
Hmm.
to launch together.
Yeah. I love this part. I think this is where my heart has just really been leaning more and more into like the group work and this collaborative experience for many reasons. I'm a solopreneur. I'm used to running the race by myself. And that's probably one of the big reasons I love running the race with others is I like being the cheerleader that they don't usually get. Like I like being on that sideline, cheering them on and encouraging them when they've had a bad day. But I think we really need that for each other. I think we need that for ourselves and for each other. I think a lot of magic can happen
Mhm.
in collaborative work where you can be lifted up by your peers when you're like, I don't know, does this sound good? Does this look good? Because we can share thoughts and ideas. And would you mind looking at this and giving me your opinion? And then hearing, oh my gosh, we love this. This is such a great idea. It can help get over imposter syndrome moments, right? It can help kind of push us into that forward momentum a little bit more. But I think there's also different personalities really thrive in this, and some don't. Some really don't thrive in the group setting. So trust if that's you, that might not be for you. But some of us really love collaborative teamwork. If you're an external processor, even having like others to process with can be really helpful. Um, and just to know you're in that synergy, it just creates a different energy sometimes when you have like a team that you're launching with in a way versus just you.
Yeah.
And I'm most excited about that, I think, actually. So,
Yeah. I love
yeah.
that. So true. Right. Because not everybody thrives in group.
Yeah, I have some clients that, have jumped in over the years as I've offered different group things and they don't thrive in that space. They really need the one-on-one help.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes people need a little bit of both. There's still absolutely opportunities to have a one-on-one coach in different ways. It doesn't just have to be me, but having sometimes both at different moments can be really powerful.
Yeah.
And like, so where are you at in your business journey? What's holding you back? Do you need a group of people to feel like, oh my gosh, I'm not alone in this?
Yeah.
And I think that can be really powerful.
And we're offering both, actually.
Yeah, we are. We haven't talked
So,
about that, but we are.
yeah, We have 2 spots to work privately with Tabitha in
Yeah.
addition to the mastermind work. So
I
if you
kind of
are
forgot about
someone,
that.
yeah.
Whoops.
So
So
if you
excited about the mastermind.
yes, so if you are someone that does best with both group and private, we do offer that option. So we'll again, more details at the end
Yeah.
for that. But
I love when you and I get really excited, we forget stuff. That's definitely a Tabitha Laurel thing right there. We're like, oh my gosh.
all right. So the other quality I came up with are coaches who really want to integrate a strategy that is really true to them. My new passionate message is success is math, but it's not just math, right? There's formulas that can help us, but there's our internal success formula, right? And that's what we as coaches help our clients come up with. So I think that's one of my biggest pet peeves about some of the programs out there is they don't help people
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
develop their own unique success formula. And that is so key. I mean, we've talked about just you and I,
Yeah.
how different we are, right?
Oh,
I'm
we're
an
so different.
introvert. You're more extroverted. So
Just
we're
a
going to
little.
have totally different success formulas.
Yeah.
And this program we've really designed for those seeking that.
Absolutely. Yeah, you and I have had a lot of conversations about some of those one size fits all programs. And I will just say, with all the love in my heart, that I really struggle with those programs because of how many people have come to me after they've spent tens of thousands of dollars
Mm-hmm.
and had no success or very little success. And then they come sit with me, they hire me as a coach, and they're just devastated, or they've blown their life savings. We're starting over from scratch. And, of course, I'm always willing and wanting to help those people, but it just breaks my heart that we even had to get there. Like, those are really good sales technique programs because they make you think that you won't be successful unless you do it their way. But that's not the truth. What's most important is to figure out, how are you going to show up in your authentic voice that aligns with your values, that aligns with your soul's mission on earth, and that makes you feel really good about doing sales and marketing every day. Because that's also something that I think I hear from a lot of entrepreneurs is, ugh, I don't really like sales and marketing, but I know I have to do it, so I just do it. And it's the lifeline of your business,
Yeah.
really. Like, unless you're going to, become an internal coach and you don't need to go find clients, like, you're going to have to find clients somewhere. And so if you can't find something that feels really good and aligned with marketing on a regular basis, this is going to get real hard real fast. And no one else can do it better than you. There's no other coach that's built just like you. You're one of a kind. And so your marketing needs to be one of a kind. Sure, we're going to share some general techniques and thoughts and strategies, but then make it yours.
Yeah.
Put your spin and flavor onto it. And what works for Laurel definitely doesn't work for Tabitha. I tried really hard one time to get her to a marketing thing, and she
We talked
came
about this last
out of
time.
respect. I know, on our last one. And I'll just never forget that. That was such a good learning moment for me.
Yeah. I was like, I told you, I tried. I really did try. I really did.
You really did. I'm so sorry. I did not listen. And that was, I don't know, 15 years ago. It was a
It
long
was, yeah.
time. Maybe not, maybe 10.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So funny.
Mm-hmm.
So the next quality that really popped up for me was coaches who want to learn authentic ways. I mean, kind of just what you talked about, but more heart-centered business building
Mm-hmm.
and steering away from, those inauthentic sales tactics, the
Yeah.
tactics. They don't want the tactics. I mean, I get why, myself included, did not want to do sales and marketing. I just,
Sure.
but I did want the business.
Yeah.
So I am here and Tabitha too, to let coaches know it doesn't have to be that way at all. It
No.
can, marketing and sales can be an authentic expression of your coaching. I mean, it
Mm-hmm.
really can line up with your core values and be more of a blessing to
Yeah.
meet and connect with amazing clients that need you and need your
Yes.
services.
Absolutely. And if you're watching this and you're feeling this like, ugh, as you hear the word sales, that might be some one-on-one work to bring into private coaching. Like there are sometimes limiting beliefs we have to shift around this word or this concept so that it can become something really heart-centered and holistic. I sometimes really like to just re-explain that really, really good sales is great education and support. I'm going to empower my potential client with all the information that they need, with all the education that I can give them so that they can make a choice. And there's a level of empowerment right there. When you give someone the ability to make a choice, you're giving them freedom, you're giving them agency, and that's treating our clients exactly how we're supposed to as coaches.
Yep.
That
Yeah.
we're trusting them to have the right and perfect answers inside of them, not us. So there is no need for pushy sales if we actually use our coaching skills to just really empower and listen to our clients and then give them the choice and decision. That's all we have to do.
Yep. And learn how to use our authentic message, our
Mm-hmm.
authentic voice to really
Mm-hmm.
make that connection so that the client
Yes,
can decide.
absolutely. Yeah. And that's where you bring your beautiful authenticity into it.
Yeah. I'm so glad you brought up the the aversion to sales and marketing, because I struggled with that and I had to do a rework around the word sales.
Yeah.
And what I came up with was, it's like a ship has a sail and somebody can't reach you unless you provide this pathway
It's
so
so
they
adorable. I
can
love
sail
it.
into your work with, the work with you. And
Yeah.
that, so there's some fun ways that you can shift that relationship.
I love that. You made me remember something else I've shared with a few clients, and it's like, for those of you who are really afraid of sales and marketing or feel like that kind of grossness with it, I totally get it. I remember that moment. Like I most of us have been there. Okay. Very few, few people, maybe not, but most of us have. But let's look at this in a different perspective if I'm allowed to. If we're asking our clients to show up and do really vulnerable work with us, right? Like we're asking them to trust us enough to bring them on this journey, right? To bring us along. Like there's a level of vulnerability we're asking in them for that. And so isn't it up to us to start that vulnerability first? So I almost look at sales as like, if I'm going to ask my client to do this bold, vulnerable thing, then it's my job to start that by like extending the first hand. I'm going to be the one to show them vulnerability first. I'm going to be the one to show them courage first by one, staying in my authenticity, knowing that I'm not going to be everyone's cup of tea. I'm not. And then two, hoping that if they like my invitation, they'll join me, but they still might not. But really trusting that I did everything right for my values and for theirs. And that's where that choice comes back in.
Can you give
But that
an example of vulnerability? Just because I can imagine, I've just put myself in shoes of the listener. I'm like, "Oh, I have to be vulnerable. What does that mean? What does that look like? Am I like spilling out my whole life story? What is happening?"
Yeah, that's such a great question. I think if we start to really listen in on the resistance to sales, like that initial like that we feel, if we go behind the first layer, which is usually like, "Ugh, I don't like sales and sales is capitalism and whatever it is." Like, I'm not trying to minimize that. That's true. But in my experience of doing this for a really long time, because I'm going to be 40 this year. Yay. So 20 years of teaching people sales and marketing. That blows my mind, Laurel. What's beneath that is a fear of rejection.
Gotcha.
So when we put ourselves out there, people will say no. And that can hurt. That can be really vulnerable to have someone say no after we put our hearts out there. But at the same time, that's what we're teaching our clients. Like we're literally showing them how to lead through courage and vulnerability in that process.
Yeah. And it's a matter of alignment or not alignment. So it's really
Yeah.
not a rejection. It just may
No.
not be alignment, which you don't want to
Yes.
welcome in non-alignment, right? So it
Exactly.
actually works really well.
But we have to like get there, right?
Yeah.
Because initially maybe some of our ego parts or our protective parts are like, I don't want to face rejection. When
Yeah.
realize they're like, oh my gosh, why would I spend time with people that I'm not in alignment with?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right. And that their no has nothing to do with my worth, has
Right.
nothing to do with my worth as a human, my worth as a coach, my value as a coach or human has nothing to do with it. So there's sometimes that's what I mean by vulnerability and some of the internal work.
Yeah.
That,
No, it makes sense. And it's some of those internal shifts are so powerful. And I forget who I was listening to the other day, but I think it was a podcast, and they made this statement: the person who I am now is not the same person as when I started my business. Your business will elevate you as a human being
oh
because it
yeah,
requires you to step fully into your why, who you are, your core values, and really live those out.
100%.
Yeah.
I just yesterday, I did a free session with a potential client and they were like, so are you a business coach or are you a life coach? And I was like, yes. And so I explained I'm an integrative coach, from the Institute of Integrative Intelligence. And I said, yes, I'm here for business coaching. I know that that's the main goal that you have, but I've never seen people up level their businesses without up leveling their own evolution.
Mhm. Yeah,
I've never seen it.
yeah. And the
So
power of group process, if that is in alignment with,
absolutely.
yeah. All right. So, how about who this is not for? I was thinking more on that. There is a level of commitment to showing up live. Groups work when, unless there's an emergency, of course, but that
Yeah,
commitment to showing up
yeah.
for yourself, but also showing up for the group.
For others, yeah.
Every participant is bringing forward their own unique wisdom and contributing.
Yep.
So it's not just, Tabitha's an amazing expert and the wisdom
And
of we, right? That's the mastermind.
exactly. It's not just about me. What's probably more important is the group synergy that we'll create,
Mhm.
like the group wisdom that will become. So, yeah.
Yep.
And I think sometimes I love that you said that because I think there's a level of self accountability and accountability to others that you just spoke to.
Mhm.
And, you know, sometimes what I hear from people that it's not a good fit for group work is if you just feel really drained after those types of group meetings versus energized and excited, maybe that's a clue that it's not a good fit for you. But if you're someone who's like, oh my gosh, I feel really jazzed after I get to sit with a group of my peers and share and hear and listen to what they have to say, then that's a good sign that it is a good fit. So
Yeah.
think of kind of your energy experience in those situations.
Well, and I will say, as a fellow massive introvert, small
Massive.
group, yeah, well,
And
you
we
know
love that about you.
me. So, small group is different than a group of 50 or 100, right?
Oh,
Where you just
yeah.
get lost. And so we intentionally designed it. We're capping it at 10 because we want everyone to have a voice to get the exact support that they are needing. And 10 is a really cozy number for that.
Yes. Yeah, absolutely. Even with my extrovertedness, doing this with a group of like 20 feels so different. And like
Mhm.
50, ooh, my extrovert starts to have feelings about that. So, yeah, I love that this is going to be a really cozy, intimate, dare I say,
Mhm.
group of peers that we
Yeah.
can all work together and collaborate and just grow and experience these launches and celebrate these launches. That's also something I'm really looking forward to is as people have wins and have successes. I just think it's so important that we get some type of praise and celebration in this world. I feel like we just get a lot of bad news and we get a lot of hard news. And why not get a chance to celebrate each other sometimes? I think that's really powerful.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
The other thing to consider, who this is not for, if you do not have a solid 4 to 5 hours a week to devote and commit to
Ooh.
actually doing the
Yeah.
work.
Yes.
So this is very action oriented and support driven.
Yes. Yes. Good. That's a great reminder.
The other thing is, oh, if you're, it's almost silly to say this, but if you're unwilling to contemplate and self reflect, because those internal
Then
pieces.
why did you become a coach?
Yeah. So I don't know that that applies to this group, but
Probably
that
not.
is, there has to be a willingness to
Yeah,
really go inside and say, what is my truth? What is my message? And spend some time contemplating. It's
yeah.
not going to all be, admin work. There's a level of contemplation that's needed for authentic marketing.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny. That does seem kind of like a, well, sure, they're all coaches. Why wouldn't they be
Mhm.
open to that? And yet with sales and marketing, that's where I think we do find the most resistance to looking inward because there's usually some stuff there for people. So I love that you said that. That's important.
And the other thing to consider is if you're not at a place where you're ready or able to invest in marketing, education, and support, because we don't want anyone joining that this would be a hardship for them. If anything, we want to see you gain those 8 to 10 clients, and hopefully, I mean, I'm imagining just gaining the 2 clients would cover the tuition and the back end support and all of that. Any thoughts on
Absolutely.
that one, Tabitha?
Yeah, I think that's really important. People can sense when you're doing, let's say, a free session to hopefully invite them into coaching. They can sense if you're doing this because it's a true invitation of energy alignment, or if you're like, oh my gosh, I really need the cash right now. And so, if you're in a place where this is going to create so much pressure to get clients because you can barely cover the cost of tuition or pay your bills, like there's probably a step before this that needs to happen.
That's a good point.
Yeah, because otherwise it's so much pressure for you, and your clients, your potential clients will feel that in those
Yeah.
meetings. Yeah.
Yeah, after I transitioned from in as internal coach to growing my practice, so I grew a practice a few times, and then I mean I've been a coach for 20 years. I think I shared this is my 20th year. Very exciting. Um, and so the one time that I transitioned, I did part-time work as I grew my clientele back up,
Yeah.
right? So there can be those moments. So just check in with yourself, make sure that you're able to commit to the process and the work that's going to help you be successful.
Yeah.
Anything else that you'd love our listeners to consider?
You know, I've really been sitting in contemplation a lot of this word soulpreneur.
Mm, yeah.
And I just heard it recently, and I don't know why I didn't hear it because I guess it's been around for a while. But
Mhm.
oh, did my heart sing when I heard that word. And I guess for me, it comes down to like if you know in your heart of hearts that you're supposed to be doing this and you haven't figured out how to get launched, like I really want you to be in this group. I really want to help because there's a reason that like soul's calling is in you.
Mm.
And I just really think it's important to be in this world living our purpose. That's really personally important to me. And so, if there's anything Laurel or myself or the school can do to help that, even if it's not this program, but it's something else that you're like, yeah, I don't know if this is the right time, or, if it is great, we're excited to have you. But I just think I don't want fear to be the reason why you don't do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nice. Lovely. All right. So, oh, I am so sorry.
Our
I
timer.
have I have my emergency contacts and they can call through, and so I forgot to turn my phone on airplane. So
That's
I'm just
okay.
gonna own that. So
You know what? I love
Mhm.
that. You just demonstrated the real life of a coach and an entrepreneur and a real human that's juggling a lot of things. So, you know what?
Thank
All
you.
good.
All right. So again, for the next 6 days, we have the early adopter rate, and that does close April 30th. We'll put links in the chat so that you can, check out what we're up to. And if you want to secure a spot, we would love to have you if it's a really good fit for you. If you're not sure, reach out to me. I would love to have a conversation to help you get clear. I'm absolutely available. Um, I will make sure that my contact information is available to you so that we can connect over over that before you sign up. And just a little bit about what you receive. This is 6 months of success support and beyond. So the Facebook group, we're going to have a private Facebook group. That group is going to be live as long as you want it. So those you can continue to support your evolution as a business. And
Yay.
we also have, we cover all the key bases. So we've got business success checklists. So you can go through and just double check, did I do this? Did I get this done? Or you can identify what's missing. We also
Mhm.
have 14 90-minute monthly business success calls. So Tabitha is going to give a lesson and then
Yeah.
we shift to group coaching. So you're going to receive individualized support. You're going to have one you're going to be in the what we call the hot seat once a month. You're going to get one-on-one support in group with
Mhm.
Tabitha, and lots of group activities that are going to help you eliminate and get on the other side of procrastination if you deal with that. Um, and also invitations to get your message honed in, get your why honed in, all of those. You're going to receive recordings of each of the sessions. And as we mentioned earlier, there's two options. You can take the group mastermind, or we have 2 spots open to do both private work with Tabitha and do the group process. So you can check those out in the links below. And we hope this has been really illuminating for you. And if you're called to get this type of love and support, nurturing, and education, we invite you to check out the 2025 Mastermind.
Yes. Hope to see you there.
Yeah. Bye.
Oh, it did it.